Hello Astrodevs, welcome back to another video on how to turn UI design to Flutter code series. And as for today's video, you can see the design we chose has 3 pages and it's about planet. You can find the links to the designer profile and the design itself in the description down below. So without further ado, let's jump into the code. Here, as for a starter, I've added our images to our assets folder. So the first time you build your Flutter app, if you're new to Flutter, the assets are not there. So you need to add them by yourself. So you add a folder, name it assets, and inside the folder, create another folder and call it images, pictures, whatever you want. I've gone with the images. I've got picture for every planet, as you can see, except Pluto. And we have a welcome page. I actually find the pictures, for example, for over here, but as for the copyright issues, I'm using royalty-free pictures over here. So let's just go and add the assets to our popspec.yaml. Over here, you can set a tab, assets, don't forget the S, and it goes for assets slash images slash, and that is how we're gonna access the assets image. Just click the button over here and you can see the pop.get is running. So we wait for that, and I can close here, and let's go start our work in our main.dart folder. So let's just remove the debug banner. So set that to false. Debug banner, I can shrink this a bit down. Let's zoom in to the picture. We're going to be working on the welcome page over here. We have a background, an image for the background, and we have a text, explore solar system, and an arrow. So instead of setting in a scaffold directly over here, I'm gonna giving it a widget. Let's build a stateless widget for our welcome page. I'm using a Flutter snippet extension on my VSCode, and let's name it as welcome page. So just set it over here. Welcome page is gonna be my first page in the material app. We can even give it a title, but I'm not gonna be messing up with that. I just need to pass in the widget, and the app is not running. Let me restart the app so we can see how it looks like. And we have a container, but I could have set a scaffold over here and pass the welcome page over here as the scaffold's body, but I'm gonna be setting a different scaffold for each page on my app. So I'm gonna be using the scaffold inside the widgets. Alright, now that I mentioned, we need to remove the status bar and the bottom navigation bar in our app. So let's go over here. First, we need to make sure that the widget Flutter binding is initialized, and then using system chrome dot set enable UI system one, and inside of that, system immersive sticky. That's gonna remove the status bar and the bottom navigation bar and make your app full screen. So that's the code. Let's refactor the code, come up over here. We don't have an app bar, and we don't need the background color. We need to set a body for our scaffold, and inside that, I'm gonna go with the container. And let's get the width and the height of the device we're working on. So this is the height, that's the width, and this is how you can take them. Let me shrink this down a bit. So by calling out the media query.context.size.width, that's how you can get the width and the height of the screen or the device you might call you're working on. And we have the container over here. So let's set the background image welcome BG as for its background image. So you go inside the container, set, call the decoration, of course, and we need to use the box decoration, and we need to call the image decoration image. And in here, because it's we need to actually pass an image provider, and because the image is in our assets folder and we're going to use it locally, it's not a network image, so we need to go with asset image, and the asset name is going to be the address to the file over here. So it's going to be assets image and welcome bg.jpg. So that's the address to the image over here, and we can set the comma so the code is formatted. We added the cons to get over with the warning over there, and we can set the width and the height of the container to be the width and the height of the device, because we want it to be covering the screen from top to bottom and left to right. So the width is width and the height of the container is the height of the device. So let's see if the app is running. So I guess there's a problem with this. The app is not currently running. Okay, you can see that the picture is over here, but because the picture has a horizontal proportion, that's why it's not filling out the whole screen. So what I need to do is change its fit value. So inside the decoration of fit, box fit, and let's use cover and see how that is. Yeah, cover is working a lot better, and that's how we can set it. You can even play with it, so you can change its alignment. You can say the alignment dot center left, for example. Yeah, we need to set a comma over here. So alignment dot center left actually shows you the center left of the picture, which is the stars and empty sky. But let's go with the center. So we have the earth and the moon in the picture. So this is it, and let's add the let's add the text and the icon. So in order to do that, I need to set a column for the container's child, and column over here. The main axis alignment is going to be main axis alignment end, because it starts from the bottom, so the end of the column is the bottom of the screen. So main axis alignment end, and the children, and before that let's set the cross axis alignment, because the cross is the axis, horizontal axis on the column, and I want it to be start of the screen. So cross axis alignment start. Let's remove that. Let's come over here, and we need a text widget. Actually, we need a rich text widget, because you can see that the text over here has two parts with two different styles. One, I guess the text size is the same, but one is with the regular weight and one is bold. So let's just create a rich text over here, and for the first tag I'm going to use a text span, and it's going to say explore, and let's give it a style, text style, font size. I guess font size can be 25, and font weight is going to be font weight normal, and that's it. Let's come over here, and yeah, inside the text span you cannot just set the string over here like a normal text. You need to say it's the text value for the text span. And let me just add the cons so that blue line is gone. We have the Explorer over here. Maybe we can go with a bigger font size, like 30, maybe even 40. Let's jump. Yeah, 40. Let's add the other text and we can check that. So we're gonna add other text spans to that, so you just can use the children over here, and it's gonna be another text span, and the text is gonna say solar/n, because we're gonna go to a new line and set the system, solar system. And as for the text style, we just need to change the font weight. We don't need to change the font size. So if you don't change anything on the children, they're gonna stay the same. For example, if I change the color to colors.red, both of them are gonna be red. So if I don't change it on the children, they're gonna inherit the parents' style for themselves. And let's keep that white. The default is white, and I need to add another /n over here. So the solar, it starts from here, and we can give a padding to the text over here. So because you can see they are attached to the size of the screen. So let's go up here for the container, add a padding, edge insets dot, I can say symmetric, like horizontal can be width times 0.1, maybe, no, it's 0.4, 0.5, yeah, 5 is good. And for the vertical, I can say, let me bring it over here, or I don't know, if I expand this a bit, I can set the emulator, yeah. And the vertical can be height times 0.2, maybe 0.3. Let's have it free and open. Yeah, 0.3 is good. And I can actually increase the font size 45, 55, because I can see that the text over here actually covers up a half of the screen. So we need to do the same thing. Oh, and another problem that catch my eye is you can see the height and the space between each line over here on our app is a lot. So maybe by just decreasing it a bit, we can have a better text over here. So inside the text style, I'm just going to say height, and the height is going to be height times 0.00015. It's another const. Okay, that was not good. 15, maybe 0.001, 0.002, 0.004. Yeah, and it can be the font. Yeah, I can see that the L over here is a bit higher, and we need to, yeah, that's one thing I forgot. We need to set them in capital. So caps lock on, explore, solar. I thought something was off. Yeah, and /n system. / white change that. Let me fix this. / solar system. Yeah, it's a bit better. We can actually decrease the font size now. 50. Yeah, 50 is good. And let's add the arrow. So arrow, I can see it's not fully white, it's a bit gray. So make sure we set the right color for it. So we need a bit of space between them, so I can use a size box. 0.3, 0.03, 0.01. Yeah, it's not a lot, I can say. And we can set an icon button. So as for the unpress, we're gonna set that later, but as for its icon, we can go for icons.arrow, arrow right. So arrow on, arrow outline, arrow rounded. Which one suits it better? Okay, maybe we can use this. We can find the right icon for here, but I'm just gonna not make it super long. So icon data cannot pass to a widget. Oh, okay. Yeah, this needs to be an icon. It returns, it gets a widget. So I cannot not just pass an icon data to its icon because it needs a widget. So I can actually pass a container or anything else, but it needs to be a widget, so I'm passing just the icon widget, and now we have the icon address, and you can find other properties inside that. So I'm just gonna run that, and you can see by default it's a bit gray, so I'm gonna change its color to say colors.gray, and let's see what shades it has got. Gray 3 or 200. It's not a const. Gray 300, 400 maybe. Yeah, let's go with 500. And we can increase its size a bit. So size, it's gonna be, for example, height times 6. I guess that's a bit large, so maybe 0.4. Yeah, that's good. Or 0.45. The space between them is a bit. Maybe if I remove that, yeah, it's a bit better, because each text over here has a height to itself, so maybe just by maybe decrease this a bit. 12. Yeah, we are cooking over here. Yeah, we are kind of cooking. And this button over here has a padding around it because it has a splash effect, as you can see it over here. So maybe just skip it like that. And I'm not gonna be using the unpressed over here. Maybe we can actually. Yeah, let's set that over here. So let's just use a navigator to navigate our screen. Navigate.push replacement. Nope. Navigate.push, and it's gonna be a router. So for router is material page router, and we need a builder, and the builder is gonna set it to home page, but we have not created the home page, so let's go and do that as well. So we come over here, create a home page dot, and let's add the material package and create our this is going to be stateful, so let's just create it as stateful. You can actually convert a stateful to a stateless widget by just refactoring it. Convert to stateless if you have no for example, set a state over here. If you have, you're not able to convert it, but we can see how it goes. But I think it's gonna be in stateful because we have pagination over here, we have slides, we have pictures, yeah, maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. So we have the stateful, let's change its name, homepage. Now we have the widget, so let's just come over here, and homepage needs to be imported. Okay, we have an error over here, that's we had to pass the context, and you can give it any name. I'm just gonna use a underscore, and that's for our homepage. So if on our app, now that the welcome page is complete, if I click over here, it takes me to the homepage which has only a placeholder in it. So let's go and create the homepage. So as for the homepage, we need a profile picture, we need a text says welcome, the username, and so some more infos. Okay, let me bring in a user picture, so just wait a bit. Alright guys, I've added the profile picture over here, something similar to here, and you can find every picture over here and the source code in the GitHub repository link down in the description. So let's get going with our homepage. So in here we actually kind of a weird layout, because the pictures over here are going to be on top of everything, so they're not going to mess anything up, and the background is going to be set. The slider or the dots indicator is going to be set as well, and these are going to be set as well again. So what we can use is, first let's place our scaffold, remove the const, add the body, and get the width and the height of the screen, the decorer.of, and finally is height and height of screen. And in here I'm going to be using a stack widget. So stack widget lets you to stack widgets on top of each other. And first we have first we can actually set the container, which is going to be the container of our background image. So in here we're going to do a similar thing to what we did in the welcome page. We're going to set the width and the height of the container to be the width and the height of the device. The height is going to be equal to height, and height has a typo in it. It says use a size box if you only are assigning width and height, but we're going to have the decoration, a box decoration. So it's going to be an image decoration image, and inside that again we need a name. We're going to say this is going to be an asset image, but not welcome BG, the BG itself. So it's the main background, which is a picture of stars, and I guess we are missing a bracket over here. Yep. So let's see how it's looking. Something is wrong over here, as I can tell. So let's restart the app and see what happens. So the app is here. Let's go to the next page. We only see an empty scaffold, as we have set the asset. Let me check. Oh, it says assets image JPG. Oh, it's BG PNG, not JPEG. So let's yep, now it's working, but you can see that it's not covering again. So I just need to set the fit inside the decoration image to be fit, box fit, contain, no, cover, and now it's covering the whole picture, and that's it. We don't need to mess up with the alignment. So we have the stars over here as for its background. Let's add the row of the text, a welcome text, and the user profile picture. So I'm going to be using a positioned widget, which as for its child, it's going to be a row that has children. First child is going to be actually a column, or maybe we can use a rich text again, because it's a welcome, it's a name, and I guess the font size is the same. So let's just use a rich text. You know, there are several approaches you can take, and none is wrong. Really, as long as your code is clean, as long as it's readable and it's scalable, we can use any approaches as you want. Well, let's go with the rich text in here. So as for its text, it's gonna say welcome, and text style, we need a bold, so that's different from this welcome page. The first one was regular, the second was bold, but in here the first one is bold. The font size is not that big. Maybe font size can be 20, and the font weight is going to be font weight bold. The color is going to be white. It's true. And after that we're going to have the children, which is a list of text span. Text is saying a name. The name is written over here, so I'm going to use the same name, Maiden. And the only difference here is its style and font weight. So I'm just going to change the font weight to normal, and let's see how it looks. Run the app. It's over there. We can use a \n again. So \n to open up a new line, and we are there. Maybe 20 is a bit big for here, so maybe 18 to 16 something. 18, 16. This F shouldn't be there. Yeah, maybe 16. 16 is good. And we need to, we can actually let's set it over here. So we can give it a top value, so it's the distance from the top. It's a bit too large, so maybe 0.06 is good. And from the left side we can have the same thing but times width. Yeah, I guess maybe a bit less, so just 0.04. Yeah, 0.04 seems fine. And we can either set the main axis alignment to be a space between, or just set a spacer over here. I'm gonna be setting the main axis alignment to main axis alignment space between. So we have two widgets, and the space between them is going to be expanded as much as it can. So it pushes the two widgets inside to the sides, and it expands as much as it has a space between them. So let's add a container over here, or maybe we can directly set a clip or rect widget. So clip or rect lets you to set a border radius for images, and border radius .circular 15. No, maybe it's 18, and as for its child, we can set an image.assets, because again we are reading the profile image from the assets folder. So image.user profile, if I'm not wrong, what name did I give it? User profile.png. Let's save this. Add the commas to format. Yep, the picture is a bit large, so let's shrink it down. We can use the height and the image and the width value inside the image widget. So height can be 0.06, maybe 0.06 seems fine, but maybe 0.065. And as for the width, because it's a square, I guess it's a square, isn't it? We can set the width to be the same as the height. So height times 0.065. Oh, maybe the width, it's a rectangle, I guess. So let's go with a rectangular shape. The width can be 0.01, and this needs to fit box fit dot cover again. Yep, and let's set it to be 2. It's a bit large, so maybe 15 was good. 15, yeah, 15 seems fine. Let's add to its height. Yep. And though that I set this to be main axis alignment space between, it's not going there, so let's just add a spacer over here. This can be due to several reasons. I'm just gonna, okay, it's not I'm using space between, it's not pushing it. Maybe I need to wrap it with the container. So wrap with container, save this. It's not going anywhere again. So let's just remove this one up, and we set it to be a spacer. But oh yeah, the problem here is that we are using a position widget. So position only takes as much as space as it has child to fill with. So it's not gonna take the whole width of the screen over here. What we can do here is to set a width for it, and the width can be double.infinity. And if I set it like that, yeah, looks like our app has a bug, so let's just restart it. we have the welcome page, click here, and yep, we need to let me what it says, position child. So maybe if I go with width, the width of the screen, is that gonna work? Restarting the welcome page, I click next. Yep, seems like. So if I set the main axis to be main axis space between, now what? Yep, now is more better. So we set the left distance, now let's set the same thing with the for the right, and there's an error. It says, oh yeah, now that we are setting a right and left distance, we don't actually need to set the width to be the width of the screen. So we can either set a width for it of any number we want, or we can set the left and right and it's gonna expand to that distance. And we have left, we have right. Everything seems fine. Maybe we can increase the size for the text a bit, so 17. Yeah, 17 seems better. Let's get going to what really catch my eye as for the design. So the dots indicator over here is not a simple one. It is curved. So as far as I know, there's no library or package that you can use to achieve the same thing over here. And as you can see behind them, we have a dashed line. So I have programmed it myself and I have the code ready now. I'm gonna paste it over here and I'm gonna explain it to you a bit, but not too far. I'm not gonna show you how to code it because it's gonna take a long time and maybe I mess up something over there because it only works with numbers. So I'm just gonna paste it over here, and as I said, you can find the code for this project in our GitHub repository. So let me just bring in the code and I give you a quick overview of how we achieved this curved dot indicator. So I've created a class named as curved line with dots over here. So there are several arguments you need to pass when calling this. It's the number of the dots, it's the current index, so which dot is active, and the padding. So the padding is a set number. As for the start, it's 20, but you can adjust the value as needed. And we start with creating a paint. We set a color for that. The color is white with 0.2 opacity, and the stroke width and the style is going to be the paint style stroke. So this is how we create the dashed path below that. And this is the dots along the curve. So we have the number of dots over here, so we run a for loop and we are using the get position along curve. So get position along curve is the method over here which returns an offset for the position of the dot that we are drawing. So it passes a t double, which is calculated like this, and a size value which we are getting it from here. And we have a create a paint object for the shadow, so you can see that it has a shadow. So we need to create a paint object to represent the shadow over here. And we have that over here, which you can see is again a paint, a shadow paint, we named it. And the color is white with opacity 0.2. And the style over here is fill, so it's not, for example, the stroke as it was over here. And we have a create paint object for the dot, so it's the dot itself, and we are checking if the I over here is equal to the current index, to the current index, the color is going to be white. But it's not. But if it's not, the color is going to be a grade with the shade of 300. So as you can see, that only the active one is all fully white, but the others are kind of translucent and maybe gray, we can call it. And again, the style is going to be fill, and the dot size, you can see that the active dot is a bit bigger. So the dot size, if it's active, it's 8, or when it's not active, it's 5. And the shadow size when it's active it's 6, and when it's not active it's 0 because it has no shadow. And we use the canvas.draw circles to draw the shadow circle, because it's the first child over here, and we draw the actual dot on top, which is over here. And we have a create dash path, which we are passing a dash width, dash space, and the distance, which is 0. So we can actually adjust the dash path as you want by just changing the dash width and the dash space. And we are calling the dash path over here. We just find its path and give it to here, so it creates it for us. And as I show you, we have the get position along curve. So let's just use this, but before that let's create our slider so we can have the pictures. So in order to create this slider, I'm gonna first create a widget. So each child is gonna be the widget that we are creating now, but with its specific data. For example, a widget is gonna be for Mars, a widget is gonna be for Earth, a widget for Mercury, and so on. So let's create that. I'm gonna call it a planet container, and it can be stateless, of course. Planet container. You can give it any name, just. And we need a picture, so let's say final string image path, final string title, so the planet title, and final string, as you can see over here, it has a nickname. So for example, the Mars is neighbor, the Earth is home, and so on. A nickname, and we can actually have a function for untap, which is when the user taps a planet, we send them over here to the planet detail page, as you can call. And let's add the final formal parameters over here, and let's just call the planet container over here, so as we design it we can see it on the emulator of how it looks. Create a position widget over here, position, and just pass the planet container to it. The image path, we're gonna use the Earth, what is it, earth.png, png. Title is gonna be Earth, nickname is gonna be home, and untap for now is gonna be just an empty function. So if I save it now, we don't see anything because the widget itself is empty. So let's just add the things we want. We need a column actually. So first is the title, then the nickname, and the picture itself. So first off, let's get the width and the height of the screen. Final width and final height. And let's set them for the container over here. Width is the width. Height is the height of the screen. Inside that we need a column. So child, column, children, it's a text widget. I'm just going to use a text widget because we are already inside a column, so I can add as many text as I want. So it's going to be the widget title, so that's how we gonna read the title passed to the widget. Widget.title, and style is going to be text style 20, maybe 25, font type bold, the color is white. Yep, this is true. And let's go for the next one. The next one is the text. It's a widget.nickname now. And the style, let's see what AI gives us. Yeah, and by the way, this is Codium AI, which is suggesting the codes. And we have a style, font size is 15, the text is not bold, it's normal now. And the color is white, yup. And let's add the picture. Because we're inside the column, I want my picture to expand as much as it has space to, just like the things we did over here. So for that I can use an expanded widget, an image.asset, and this is how I'm gonna pass the assets, just because over here we are gonna say earth.png, so I need to say assets myself. So assets image and the $ bracket widget.imagePath, and we don't need to type this each time that we are going to add a planet to here. So we're just going to say earth.png, mars.png, and any other names we have over here. And let's see how we've done it this far. Yeah, we can see the planet is over here, the name is there. We just need a bit of distance from the top, which I'm gonna use it over here. So the top says height 25, maybe 25 is good. Yeah, it's good, but we're gonna have the slider, so maybe just bring it a bit lower. 3. Yeah, 3 is good. But you can see the image is expanded, but we need to again change its fit. It needs to be covering the whole thing. Now we can see it's, if you compare it to Mars picture over here, it's the same thing. And we just need to make the sticks to be a bit bigger. So 30, maybe 40, or maybe 45. Let's go up a bit. 45 is good. The nickname, by the way, is looking fine. Maybe I can just set it to be 16. Yep, 16. And I can see that the Mars is written in capital, so I can just say to uppercase. And no matter how we write it, it's gonna always be in uppercase. Yep. We are through here, I guess. We are through with the pictures. So now let's add the slider. So as for the slider, let me remove this. As for the slider, I'm gonna be using a page view. So page view.builder, item builder, and it's gonna be a context and an index. And we're gonna return a planet container for each of that. But we need an item count as well. So item count. So the item count is gonna be 7 or 8, I guess. No, it's gonna be 8. But I'm gonna add a list of the planets, their nicknames, their titles, their image path, and the data we need over here. For example, the distance from Earth, its temperature, the other data that we have over here. So let me just bring in the list. Alright, we go up here. Let me hide this for now. And inside the homepage states. Now this is a list of map items which have a string dynamic style, and we call them planets. And each item is a map string dynamic, and you can see it has a planet name, Mercury, nickname, Sunrunner, image path, its temperature, its distance to Earth, satellites, surface area, rotation period in Earth days, and we have every planet's data over here. So as for the item count, I'm just gonna say planets.length. Now it's gonna be now it's gonna contain as many child as the planets.length, and inside each of this I'm gonna say title is equal to planets index and is there a typo? Something. Invalid image path is required. Okay, invalid constant value. We need to remove this. And we're gonna say nickname is nickname. The image path we need is planet's image path. And the ontap is gonna be empty for now, but I'm gonna show you where we can use that. So we need another parentheses over here. No semicolon. Add the commas. And let's see what it's saying. Oh yeah, so when you're using a page view.builder, you need to wrap this with a size box. So to give it a width and a height, you cannot just let it to be free and grow as much as it needs. For here, I'm just gonna say it's gonna have the width and the height of the screen, yeah, because it's on the top of other things. It's not gonna mess up with anything. So width and the height, I'm just gonna leave it to be height of the screen, and let me restart the app, and it should work just as good. This is the welcome page. Click the button. Let me remove this, and as you can see, yeah, we have the Mercury, we have Venus, we have Earth, we have Mars, we have the Jupiter, we have Saturn, and they have their nicknames as well, Neptune. Okay, but the distance over here sometimes is not good, sometimes is a bit more, just because the pictures are a bit messy. So you can see the Mars has no white space around it. The Jupiter has a lot of white space. So just by correcting the pictures, you're gonna achieve the same exact results for every picture. I'm just gonna let it to be like this. And let's go and add the dots over here on the top. So I'm just gonna add another position. It's gonna be top is gonna be height .02. Child's gonna be a repaint boundary. We're gonna say child is a custom paint, and the paint itself, painter, is gonna be our curved line with dots. So the number of dots is exactly the planet's dot length. Our current index, so how to achieve the current index, I'm just gonna pass a page view controller to there. Page controller, call it as controller, and it's equal to page controller class. Set an int of the current index, which is for now 0 as a starter, and inside my init state, I can just add lines of code. Just change this. So we are adding a listener to the controller, and we are checking if the new index is not the same as the current index. We're updating the current index, and each time we change anything over here, the listener runs over. So first we get the new index and we check it if it's the same as the current index. For example, the current index is 0, but the new index is 1, so they're not the same. So we set the new index for the current index value. And let's go over here and pass the current index to our, but we need another value, which is its size. Value is going to be, its width is going to be the width of the screen. So let me just do that. Its width is going to be the width of the screen, and height is going to be 5, but no, its height, I'm going to go set it to 50. And yeah, that is working. You can see that we have the dots, it has a shadow. If I go over here, let me restart the app, it's not updating it. When you add something before the build widget, you need to restart the app in order for that to work. So just because it works on the initial state, we need to restart the app so that it starts working. So Mercury, we go to Venus. Okay, it's not updating it. Let's see where is the problem. Oh, we didn't pass the controller to the page view, so I need to pass that. And I don't think there's a need for a restart. Maybe let's just restart it. Hot restarting. Okay, let's enter the app. We have that, and if I go to the next page, you can see that the dots are working pretty fine. And each page has its own dot. The app is working pretty fine. Now let's add the on-click. So if I click on any planet, it takes us to its detail page. So let's first create the detail page file. So let's say planet detail page dot import the material, and I don't think that it's stateful, so let's just go with the stateless. As I said, we can always convert an stateless widget to a stateful. So planet detail page detail, I forgot to set the L, detail, now let's go to the home page, and in here first let's just modify that. We need a map of a string dynamic, call it planet. So we need that parameter, and it needs to be final. Okay, and now that's why we're doing that, because I want, when I'm calling and when I'm gonna send the user to the planet detail page, I'm gonna send the planet's detail with the user to the page. So it's gonna be a fully dynamic page working, and you can see that we have the list of the map string dynamic for the planets. So I'm just gonna send, for example, the child, the first child, the second child to the planet detail page along with the user. So let's just come navigator dot push connects, and the route is gonna be material page route. The builder is gonna send context, and planet detail page, and the planet is gonna be the planet's index, and just like that. Let me see, we need to set a semicolon, and that's it. Let me reformat the code, and everything seems to be fine. Let's just click on the planet, and it should take us to the next page. So let's just restart the app. Oh yeah, the reason that it didn't took us to the next page is we didn't wrap the size box with a gesture detector. So technically we didn't call the ontap. So let's just do that, and it's gonna be ontap is equal to widget.ontap. And when I come over here, next page, I click on the planet, and it takes us to the planet detail page. So let's go and design the planet detail page. So we can see that we need a title. So it's a column. You can see it's a column. Maybe we needed a stack over here, so we can stack two widgets on top of each other, and we have planet's detail is over here, and yeah, it's a super fun program. I really love it. And let's expand this a bit so I can place the emulator. It's a blank screen because we have no scaffold or something, it's just a container. So let's just change it to be a scaffold, not a context scaffold. And let's get the width and the height of the screen. Width, height, scaffold, the body, and first column. You know, something that there is everything in here, first three child, is a lot similar to our planet, planet container. So I'm just going to copy them from here, but with the catch. So the catch is we're not going to use the expanded. So let's just set the children, widget, the title. Okay, now that we are inside a stateless, we don't need to call the widget. We can just say planet, and it's planet. Let me see how we did it. I guess it's called planet name. Planet name. Widget is gone. So planet, and its nickname. Let me make sure that it's not in capital. No. The second is. nickname, and there's an error. It's not a widget. It's should be again planet image path, and let's see image path. So it's a camel case, and we got an error over here because of the image path over here. So let's just restart the app and see how it looks like. I click on the Mercury, now we have it. But again, I need to set the picture to be the same picture as we had over here, the BG. So I don't want to use a stack over here, so let's just wrap the column with the container and bring in the same codes as we did used over here. Okay, I need to remove the container, and let's see, container is defined. Okay, why is that? Oh, there's a typo. Container. I save the code, restart it, and now the background is there, and the text and everything else is fine. Let's just add a bit of distance from the top. Size box, it's height. The height is going to be height times 0.0, maybe 0.1. 0.1, maybe it's a lot. 0.05. It's better. Yeah, 0.05 or something. Yeah, it's better. Okay, and now I need to remove this expanded, or maybe just change it with a size box. You know, size box set height. That's very small. Let's do 1. I know that's small too. Let's go with 3. Yeah, 3 seems to be working. And let's add the distance over here again. Yeah, it's looking fine. Yeah, it's looking fine. So if I go back and if I choose Mars, yeah, it's looking alike. Yep. Let's just continue with the Mars over here. So we need to add text, or maybe we can first get going with this thing over here. So you can see it has a blurred background. So first I'm gonna create the container, the icon, and add the text, and then blurring its background. So I can just with stack widget. So change it to stack, save everything, set the width to be the width of the screen, so I can move my indicator over here a bit to the right. And let's add a positioned widget. First is the container, then for its decoration I can set box decoration. Shape is gonna be box shape circle, and color is going to be, I guess, a very translucent black. So let's go with black. Dot width opacity 0.1. Yeah, 0.1. And now something is messed up because this needs to be contained. Let's see, now it is good, and we have the container. So let's add a row for its child, because first we have an icon, then the text. So let's add the row. It's going to be an icon widget. Let's see, thermostat auto, thermostat, maybe thermostat is good. And the color is going to be colors white. So colors white. Let's save that. Let's see how it works, how it looks. Yep. and add the text. So the text is gonna say planet dot planet temp. It was temperature. Temperature. Yep. We have that. It's not a const. So let's save that and see how it looks like. Okay, maybe the text is in black, so let's just change its style. It's not to be a text style. Color. Colors. Dot white. Yep. And I guess the size is good as well. I don't see any problems with that. So let's just bring that a bit to the right. So if I add a space from the right, it's gonna be taken to the right side. Increase this a bit, double it, 0.01, 15, 2. Yeah, 2 is good, and I need to bring this a bit down. So top is equal to height 0.225. It's a lot. 0.5 like that. Bring it a bit higher, so maybe 2. So in order for the backdrop blur filter we're gonna apply to work properly, first we need to wrap the container with a stack again. So wrap it with a stack, and don't forget to set the alignment of the stack to be alignment the center. And I need to wrap the stack over here with a container and set its color to be transparent, colors.transparent. And I need to wrap the container with a clip or rect. So if I don't do all of this, when I apply the backdrop filter, it's gonna be applied to everything we have over here. So I need to limit its borders, so it's only inside of the values we want. Let's set it to 15, I think. And this is the backdrop filter. And let me add the .ur package, so you can see the filter is an image blur filter. X is 10, Y is 10, and again we need a container, so we are setting a width and a height, and with the color of black, opacity 1, like that. And I need to set the alignment over here to be center as well, so it's in center of that, and both of them needs to be same value. So maybe that is a bit much. Let's go with height 0.05 and height 0.05. Let's see how that is. We can go for a bit bigger, 1 maybe. 1 is kind of good, but 8 I guess is the perfect one. Yeah, A is perfect. We have the C Celsius, which we don't have in the original design, but considering that, everything is fine. Maybe we can take it to be a bit higher, 15 maybe. Yeah, more better. 1. Yep, it's better. So we added the temperature, and let's go add the distance from Earth part. So we come over here, outside of the stack, outside of this stack. Yep. Let's add a size box. Height is equal to height 0.05. And we need to add a text saying distance from Earth. And let's change the style So colors, gray, shade 500, distance from Earth, maybe let's see how the gray itself is. Gray is good, but we need to lower the opacity. So gray dot, it shouldn't be a const, with opacity 0.05. Yep, much better. And the distance is a bit large, so let's go just with 2 or 3. Yeah, 3 is fine. And we need to add another text. Let's just copy this. And inside here we need to say planet, and what we did use distance to Earth. So let's see, light years, yep, but it needs to be bold, so make it bold, and maybe with a higher opacity, so 8. Yep, much better. And let's just say to string dot to uppercase. Yep, because the light year over here is in uppercase. Maybe we can add a bit of distance, but not too much. Yeah, maybe a bit lower. 5. Yes, this is fine. And we have 2 icons over here. So first is an Earth, and the second is a rocket with the following dashed line. So as for the dashed line, there is a package for that, and the package name is dotted line, and this is the package we're going to be using for creating that light popspec.yaml, and add the dependency to here and run pop.gib over here. Wait for it to install. First child is gonna be the Earth, so let's just add the icon. So technically there's no icon that fully resembles the Earth, only we have VPN locked. We can go with VPN lock outline, which has a bit of Earth to it, but it's not the same icon, I know that. You can bring in any icon if you want, but I'm just gonna stick with the icons from the Flutter. And the color is gonna be the same color as for the text, so I'm just gonna set that. Let's bring in the emulator, and you can see that it's added. Let's add a distance between the row and the text, so size box, the height, and just like that. Let's see how it looks. Yep, we can actually wrap the whole thing, or maybe I can add a padding to the main container over here, because I can see that they all have a padding from the sides. So let's just add a padding, edge insets, symmetric, horizontal width 5. 5 is good, yep. And let's go over here and add the size box, because I can see that there's a distance between them too. So size box with 3, maybe 1. Let's see. 1 like that, 0.01, and let's add another icon with the same color, but now this is going to be a rocket. And let me see how the rockets are. Maybe we can use rocket launch around it, and we can now use our dotted line. So dotted line, the width direction is gonna be horizontal. Let me horizontal, and the color dash color is gonna be this, and methods, it's not a const. So let's see how it looks. I restart it again. Maybe we need to, I don't quite remember, let me see what's inside here. So we have alignment, line length. Yep, maybe we can work with that line length. So 0.4. I can see that it's not fully expanded to the end, so maybe 0.4. I click the Mercury. Yeah, I can go with a bit higher, for example 5. Yeah, maybe 5, 6, something. I can increase this a bit, maybe 3. Restart a bit more, 5 or 4. 5 is good. And we have the Earth, we have this, but the distance over here is a bit high. So let's go with 2. Or lower, 1. Yeah, 1 is good. I can see that to be working. And this is our dotted or dashed line. And let's add these parts over here. And again, I'm gonna be using a widget for every one of this. So I'm just gonna create a universal widget that we can only change its icon, its title, and the data, and we can use it as many times as we want. So let's just create a stateless detail item. That's going to be final string icon, final string title, and final string value. Let's add them over here, and we need 4 of them. So let's just add them as well. So we have a planet detail item. The icon is going to be icons speed. Is it? It's so let's go with speed. This one, and its title is going to be average orbital speed, and its value is going to be so I checked the list, and the previous list that we have over here does not cover their average orbital speed, so let's just bring in a new list which has that, and we just need to call that from the planet that we retrieve and pass it over here. And the icon data cannot be in a string. Oh yeah, that's my bad. I need to set it to an icon data. And icon data. Yep. And now we are fine. And it says, and now yeah, we need to restart the app because the first time we sent them, it was not included. We added it after. So the container is gonna have a very bluish background. So let me just bring the user to this page. So let's create that. A decoration, box decoration, colors.blue, and light blue, no, blue with 900. If it's not working, I'm gonna send it a color code. And the border radius, which is a bit high, I guess it's 100 maybe. And we need a row of an icon, the text, and a value. So the child is going to be a row. And by the way, we need to get the width and the height of the screen. Maybe we need them. First time we need them is in the container. We can set the width to be the width of the screen and the height to be height 1, for example. And let's see that. Yeah, this needs to be a bit translucent, I guess. 0.1. Is it constant? Okay, so because this can be null, we need to make sure that it's not. So just add the marker over there, and 1 is too low, 2 for example. Yeah, 2 is good. And let's add a distance. Height like that. And maybe higher, 4 for example. Yeah, 4 or 5. And the distance we set for the padding, container padding, for the padding of the container is a bit much. So let's just lower it a bit. 3. Yeah, 3 is good. And set it to be 3. We can actually change these two over here. So I want to set the main axis for my row to be center. So they are centered, as you can see. And we can just increase this a bit to be 7. Or maybe, oh, 7 is good. 7 was good. Yes, 7. To be 7. We can decrease this a bit to be 2. Yep, that's good. And these items over here are good as well, but we can lower their height to 0.08. 0.08 is good. And maybe we need to close these spots as well. So let's just, because we need 4 of them, and as I can see, 4 of them are not gonna sit there very well. So let's just lower this a bit to be 3. Yep. And the distance between these two. I know the problem over here is with the picture. For example, if I choose the Mars, you can see that this is pretty much the same, but we still have space to spare. So 3, I set it. Maybe even 2. 2 is good, and now we can see that we have opened up a bit of space. Oh, we needed to change that, not this. Yeah, 25. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. And let's add the other things as well. And don't forget the comma. And we need 4 of them. And the next one is satellite. I don't know if we have a satellite. Oh, we have? Oh, that's gonna be so good. Satellite. Let's use this one. That's for our satellite, which is the second one, not the third one. It's gonna be surface area, so we need something like this is a good one. Architecture sharp, and the rotation is speed. We have a rotation, I guess. Rotation. Or maybe we can use this. I know they're not the same icons, of course, but at least we do what we can. So you can see that they're all attached together, so I can just add a margin, which is a margin top. I'm just going to separate them a bit. So now that I added the margin top, I can just lower this to be 2 because it already has a margin. Yep. And inside the row, I can set the first child to be the icon, which we are going to use the widget. Needs to remove the cons, and the widget dot icon. Oh, it's not as stateful, so just say icon, and we are good. Yep. We need to set the padding because, as you can see, it's attached to the side of it. So padding, symmetric, and width, horizontal width 4. Let's see how we're doing. 4, maybe let's go for 8. No, it is a lot. Maybe 4 was good. We only need to increase the size of the icon. So size, height times 4. Yeah, that's a bit better. And let's add the size box so we have a distance between these two. Size box, width, another width, and we can increase this, of course. 4 it can be, yep. And we need to increase the size for that. Font size to be 20, maybe. No, 20 is a lot. 18, 16. Yeah, 16 is good. And I can say that they are white, the colors. And let's just wrap the text inside a column and change the text so it's coming from the widget title. And let's add another text below that, and it's going to be the value, of course, and their value. So I'm going to set them to be main axis alignment center, and the cross axis alignment to be start. So it starts from here and then they're in the center. Good. And the font weight of the value is going to be font weight bold. I can see it over here. Yep. I can actually make this to be 14 and the value to be 16. So it looks like that. And we need to pass the correct data. So as for this, it's going to be called satellites. And let me see what we said over here. Satellite sent. The third one is going to be called surface area. And we have the surface area. And the fourth one is going to be rotation speed. So rotation period. I'm sorry, rotation period, and it's gonna be like that. But if I save this right now, it's an int. Yep, it needs to be .to string, and this needs to be as well .to string. So restart the app. But the value for the rotation period is just a number. So you can see in the design we have a D, which stands for day. So what I'm gonna do is to format this. How I'm gonna do that is to first wrap this with quote marks and do this, add a $sign so I can use this variable as it is and just say D as in the real design we have. So now every rotation period that we are going to send from each planet is going to have the D at the end of it. As you can see over here, this is the things about the Earth. It has an average. You know, sometimes these text can ruin the design, so I'm just going to remove them. Now that I remove them all, let me send them again. And now let's have a real look of our application. We created every page. We try to make them look the same. I know some are different. For example, the font is not the exact font. The pictures are very different. But we can do everything and fix them. You know, you can fix the icons over here. It's nothing. The slider works good. The pictures are good. But as I told you, If you want, you can change their empty space around them and make them all look like Mars. So the pictures are gonna look the same. You know, the Jupiter is giant, but it looks smaller than Mars. You know, so just by removing an empty space around it, you're gonna get the work done. And if we go to the planet detail, for example, about the Jupiter, you can see every detail over here is looking good, and we have our design done. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you had a good coding session with us. Don't forget to subscribe and comment what are the things you want to see in our channel. We have started some new series like how to use series, which we pick some package from the pop.dev website, and we show you a quick overview. And make sure to do not miss our last top 10 video, which we showed you top 10 Flutter websites you need to use if you want to boost your Flutter coding progress. And the theme over here I'm using is the Astrotheme. You can install that just by coming over here and search for the Astrotheme. And you can use that just by downloading it over here, and maybe drop your thoughts in the comments what you think about the theme, if you need to change anything or if there's something wrong with the colors. Don't forget to share this video, like it, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you everyone, and have a nice day.